Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Dawood. I am here with my coach and my friend Ali Duffey. And I'm so excited. We are going to chat today about the voice and maybe other stuff. Let's see. So, as a start, Ali, tell us about you.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say, and there's a wonderful irony in this because we've known each other for many years now, right? And I always say I can't really say your name as you say it. And my name is Ali Duffy.
Oh, wow. Ali Duffey.
I've never heard you say it before, of course. So that's absolutely hilarious. So, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Anyway, it's fine. Yes, of course. That's funny. So I am Ali Duffy. Hello, everybody, and so delighted to be here with the gorgeous Duaa, Duaa, something like that.
It
And
works.
yeah, I am indeed a coach. I am a British Kiwi, so I'm half English, half New Zealand, and I live in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the States for some reason. I've lived here for about 20 years and I can't quite remember why, but here I am anyway. And I've been a coach for 13 years now, I think. Before that, I worked in film and television. I was a producer for many, many years of all sorts of things. And I was also a film festival director and different things. Anyway, so now I'm a coach and I'm a master certified coach, and that's me.
Wow, that's such an interesting background. And okay, I'll give a brief about myself.
Yes, why don't you talk about you? I'll probably find out things I don't know.
Oh, most probably. So, my name is Dua, and I'm based in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. And I have studied literature. And today I was thinking, why have I chose that major, English literature? And then I realized that my sister, my eldest sister, she was studying literature, and she always spoke about the artistic part, which is plays and singing and performing and so on. It was like, oh, wow, that looks fun. It doesn't seem like studying. So I'm gonna choose that, and it's gonna be fun. And there was a high demand on English language. So okay, I'm choosing it. And what led me to today, which is I have never before recognized or actually knew that for all that long I always wanted to express myself and I always wanted to share my voice. And it's like there was always this part of me that wanted to be seen, to share my voice with the world, whatever it was, in any kind of performance. And that led us to today's conversation, which is finding your voice. And yeah, this interesting topic about voice and art in general and expression and being you. So,
Mm.
yeah. And as, yeah, tell me.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't know you studied English literature. I did too.
What?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yes, in fact, I studied the Victorian novel. So, very specific. And it wasn't about performance. It was about expression, for me too. I love that you've seen that, and that's really encapsulated in choices we make when we're still almost asleep, in some ways, right? We haven't woken up to our true nature and who we are fully expressed in the world, which is what my work is all about, us, particularly women. I don't know if everybody here's a woman, but
Yeah.
particularly women, um, being as fully expressed as is possible for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's huge. And um, it's so interesting how our paths met, and in a time that I wasn't actually, I was kind of lost. I don't know, I didn't know what to do. And you
Yeah.
remember those days.
I do remember those days. I was thinking about you this morning. I was thinking about our very first session, which was probably in 2017 or something, you know,
Yeah.
so a long time ago. And it makes me want to cry, actually, because you know, seeing you said it, I can agree. You did seem a bit lost, you know, right?
Yeah.
And now look at you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy for
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna cry also.
Yeah, I know. We'll just sit here and cry and everybody else can talk amongst themselves, right?
Yeah. That's also welcomed. And
Yeah.
even that part of myself that I was also rejecting. And with time, I realized that I don't have to reject any part of me. It's,
Oh,
yeah,
so huge. So huge. Mm.
it's just the whole package that makes us who we are. And yeah,
And if I can jump in, I think we're afraid. We're afraid to accept those. We're afraid to look under the rock and find the parts of ourselves that we're rejecting and discarding and that we disapprove of because we've been conditioned to disapprove of them. There's nothing wrong with any part of us ever, you know, nothing wrong ever. So that's a very fundamental principle, right? But we believe that there is. We think that truly is. And because we believe that, shame invites us to therefore stay hidden,
mm,
you know, because that's the only safe place to be. And so you have showed great courage, my friend. And, you know, so many people do every day.
yeah, wow. Wow, thank you so much about saying how those parts we cover because of shame and how much we silence ourselves because of that as well. And actually, there is so much beauty underneath. That's the thing.
Much beauty. There is so much beauty. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I have this little kind of phrase that I'm using. I've been using it for years off and on. And I'm going to start signing my emails off like this: truth and beauty, you know.
Oh, I love
And
it.
isn't that great? I know, because I think of coaching, just as a slight aside, as having two components: love and disruption, right? And the love part means that I love my clients very much, you know. I love you so much. You're so amazing. And that means I fully see you and accept you to the extent that I can. And then the disruption part is sort of a challenge and finding reality. So truth and beauty sort of slightly encapsulates that, but also, as you just said, we are beautiful. We are so beautiful. We have no idea how beautiful we are, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And this, when you mentioned beauty and how much we are beautiful, it's just how the world would be if we acknowledged this beauty and let it be there. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
How does it?
There's a beautiful quote by the famous poet Hafiz, who of course you've heard of, and I'm going to have to Google it. So again, talk amongst yourselves while I do that.
I also need to Google something from Brené Brown.
Right.
So this is a Googling break.
Googling break. If anybody else needs to Google anything, feel very free, you know.
You can
Um,
Google us.
well enough. Oh dear. I can't remember it well enough even to Google it. Damn it. Oh,
What is it about?
it's about, it's something like No, I can't put it in his words,
Okay.
you know, because, you know, what a poet, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Found it.
Yay!
Yay. Oh, phew, what a relief. There's nothing worse than going off to Google something and not finding it, and everybody's like, oh, you know, really. Here we are. Are you ready? This is amazing. I wish that I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being.
Okay, a break. An astonishment break.
Yes, an astonishment break. I know, it's so incredible, isn't it? You know, that we forget. I mean, it's so moving, that quote. We forget who we are so easily, because everything in the world and in our culture and in our past and in our conditioning and blah 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 all conspires to keep us small and invisible, you know. And I've absolutely had enough of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
anymore. And
Yeah.
it's amazing when you finally see that, oh, this is not my truth. This is something that's actually getting me out of my track. So all I have to go, oops, this is my track. I will not be distracted by fear or shame anymore. And to be able to look it in the eyes and say, huh, I see you there, shame. Just want me to get off track. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think a really important thing to remember in that respect is kindness, you know, because shame in that context is attempting to protect us. It's not the enemy, right? It is trying to protect us, you know. It's also kind of a tool of the villain in the sense of, you know, society and culture and conditioning that wants to shut us down. But within ourselves, we don't want to weaponize any part of ourselves against ourselves, if that makes sense, right? So to see it as what it is and be kind and gentle, but also it's almost like talking to a child or a little puppy dog or something, you know, that you may not, you know, and I don't hate you or anything, and you can keep on being you if you must, but no, enough, you know, we're not going to do that, right?
Yeah, amazing. And um, I want something you said earlier in this call about courage, and it really does take courage to look at things as they are and to fully see ourselves and allow ourselves to be seen. And this quote, it was just running in my head all day. I think it's not Brené's, but Brené always talks about it. And I'll just read it. It's the Daring Greatly quote.
Oh yeah, that was Eleanor Roosevelt, who was the wife of American president years ago. I just happen to know that. Do go on.
Okay. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does not actually strive. Okay, somehow there is some word.
Yeah, it sounds a bit, yeah. Anyway, we got the idea.
Yeah, anyways. So it's about who dares greatly.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think that is a really amazing quote because when we are in a place of hiding and shame and something in us knows there's more and we haven't got the courage in this moment, you know, how much easier it is to stand on the sideline and look at others and see what they're doing wrong, you know, criticize, right? And I've done that in my life for sure. I've definitely done that. So not for a while, thank goodness, but I think it's always worth, we find ourselves doing that, you know, to really say, what is it that I'm not doing? What can I do differently? What do I want? It's actually what I really desire, what it is, you know?
Yeah. And I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, yes, you may.
You mentioned that as a coach now, you empower women about finding their voice, yeah?
Yeah, did I say that? I probably did, but words to that effect, yeah. Because the reason I quibble about that is because I very strongly believe that we already have the power within us. So I can't do anything to empower someone. What I can do is point them towards the power that is already within them, right? So just a tiny little thing, you know, but do go on, sorry.
No, it's okay. So tell us about this choice. What's behind it? What
my choice to do that?
Yeah.
To work that way? Yeah. Great question. I had an extremely stifled voice when I was young. I had a very dysfunctional upbringing. My father wasn't a very functional human being, let's just say. Neither was my mother in different ways. I remember thinking when I was about 10, and we were living in Pakistan at the time, as it happens. And I remember my mother having a conversation with a friend, and I had something to say, you know, because I was always sort of quite a smart child with thoughts and things to say. And I remember thinking, I could say this, but how do I know it's right? How do I know that that's right? And that feels very sad to me. I feel great sadness for that child because there is no right, you know, in that context, right? But I believed there was. I believed that I had to be perfect to be loved, basically. And I cry again for the second time. You know, and it's I think many of us do believe that we can't use our voice in case we're somehow wrong. And I don't mean just wrong in the facts we might use or an opinion we have that nobody else agrees with. I mean, in our very being, you know, there's something fundamentally not right about me. And if I speak up, everybody will see it. And then what will happen? I'll be rejected or abandoned, or I'll die even, you know, who knows what could happen, right? That's the fear. So, and what made the difference for me, and I was quite old when this happened, was, you know, I produced documentaries for years and years, and I had a lot to say about everything, you know, and yet I still had that shame and that self-doubt and that constant second guessing myself. And it wasn't until somebody told me when I was pretty old that you don't need to believe everything you think, you know, and I realized that I had been believing this narrative that nobody ever said to me, don't speak up because you might be wrong. Nobody ever used those words, but that was the message of everything in my life, you know, teachers, parents, everything, right? You know, so knowing the liberation to be found on the other side of that, why wouldn't I want to do that work, right? You know, and there's another part of it, which was that I used to be a singer. I don't really actively sing anymore, but I used to, and we talked about this once, right? That the great joy in, I think I remember saying that we have this in common with the birds.
Oh, yes, please say it.
Song. Whales sing as well. Oh, imagine, you know. And I remember just the physical act of using my voice was also such a gift, you know, and I really felt that it soothed my nervous system. And put things to rights, that somehow physiologically it would bring some sense of equanimity to my life. So however somebody wants to use their voice, whether they're a writer or a singer or just somebody who wants to say an opinion, you know, or say no thank you, or say I don't agree with that, all of that is using our voice, finding our voice and then using it. And sorry, I'm going on so long. Interrupt me anytime. When I talk about finding your voice, I see it a bit differently now than I did when I wrote that work up first. I see it as actually the challenge is using our voice. And we don't have to find the perfect voice before we use it. I think that's a really important thing, right? So when I talk about finding your voice, it almost implies that together we'll go on this huge adventure or expedition, and hopefully there's a voice at the end of it, but there might not be. You know, that's, I don't believe that at all. I believe that we are our voice in many ways. You know, our voice represents our preferences, our desires, just so much of who we are, and we already are that. So it's a question of using it and seeing what happens without it having to be perfect.
Oh my God. Thank you. And especially about that part about our voice is everything we choose, everything we express. And there is no perfection is required. There is no prerequisites for our voice before we can use it and share our preferences or, yeah, all of us with the world. And I remember a couple of days, I have a small booklet with quotes, and there was this very nice quote as, without you, there will be a hole in the universe.
Oh my God, that's good, isn't that? That's great. Yeah, exactly. I remember thinking that when I first became a coach and was much too scared to say anything, you know, because I might be wrong. I don't care about that anymore, by the way. I am wrong. I'm wrong 27 times a day. I aim at 27 times a day. I don't know what say that. No, that's a joke. But I remember thinking, oh, and somebody, you know, somebody said to me, your people are out there, Ali. Your people are out there. They want to hear what you have to say. There are 7 billion-ish people in the world. If there aren't 10 or 12 out there that would like to hear what you've got to say, that would be very surprising. So why don't you just go out and say it? And if the other 6 billion plus whatever don't want what you've got to say, it doesn't matter. Fine.
Yeah. Wow. And there is this thing that I heard before that was like, and I remember me talking a lot about access consciousness in our sessions. And one of the things that I heard once, that everyone why do we offer what we have, or why do we facilitate or do sessions or whatever? Because someone out there will receive from you as Duaa or Ali, right? I'm saying it right. Or Aisha, or whoever is here. And those people it will be easier for them to receive from you. And that would make the whole world a different place. And one of the things that I remembered also today was like before our session today, this session, it was like a lot of things that got back to me, you know, that I somehow forgotten or put on the side. One of the main things that I'm doing what I'm doing is because so people know that they are not alone. one of the main things. And yes, as a child also, I was somehow voiceless. I couldn't say whatever I wanted. And it continued to adulthood also. And being out there, sharing my voice, whether it's written or as we are doing now in this session or whatever, it's just to let people know that you're not alone, and you can
Yeah,
choose differently. Yeah.
that's huge. And I was going to refer to that earlier, talking about the courage part, because I think, no, my phone's making noise. To be alone in our attempt to break out of this conditioned, socialized, judgmental place is hard. And as we can support ourselves, I think that's such a gift. Each other, support each other,
Yeah.
It's really important, actually. Yeah.
Okay, time for another question. What are the things that, if you can name one thing that has made it easier for you to find your voice or to voice your opinions and so on, what was one, let's say, tool or tip we can share today?
Yeah. Well, one thing is growing older, and that is not a tool I can share with anybody. You're just going to have to wait.
I love
Wait.
it.
Yeah. But beyond that, I would say doing what we call shadow work, doing the work that we discussed at the beginning of finding the parts of ourselves that we reject and disapprove of, and learning to love and accept them. And these are often the parts, the areas of our lives where we judge other people, and the reason that we're judging them is that we're externalizing our own lack of self-acceptance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that has made all the difference to me. For example, here's an example. Learning what my values are made a huge difference to me in this respect also, because one of my values in the particular values structure I address this about, answering thousands of questions, to find out who you are, one of those, is in this list. It's called judgment, and what it means is, in balance, in its perfect state of wonderfulness, it's actually discernment and clarity, right? And I have that in spades, and I've always had that in spades, and I've always known that I had it, and that I really liked that about myself, but I couldn't show it to anybody, because I was a girl, and then I was a woman, and I was always in environments where it was all men, and so you had to sort of be a little bit accommodating and all that stuff. And when I saw how much I like that about myself, and I fully own it, and if other people don't like it, how is that anything to do with me? It really is nothing to do with me at all, So what it means, and it actually held me in really good stead as a producer and as a coach, because somebody says something to me and I say, yes, but have you considered da da da, which is another angle on it that they may not have thought of. And there's also a clarity about what I do and don't want, and what I do and don't like. So calling it judgment is, in excess, that particular value, that particular quality can go into judgment of disapproval of others and criticism, out of balance. But when it's in balance, it's actually quite a beautiful gift.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't even remember what your question was now, actually. I have no idea if I answered it.
You did.
What was the question? Honestly, what? Only have the brain.
It was if there is a tool.
Oh, is there any tool?
Yeah.
Right. And that is work that we do. And it's not, people think it's heavy work because, you know, the shadow must be scary and dark, right? The shadow is simply something that slightly impedes the light, you know. The other side of it, there is such light. And so worth doing and so joyful and wonderful. And what it brings is a sense of being whole. Amazing, right?
Yeah. Wow. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm enjoying this so much. And it's interesting. For me, it was, okay, I'm gonna tell you this. A couple of years ago, I was like, never go on Instagram live, never talk to in public. And my body was like, I don't want to do this. But actually, when I started looking into it, as you said, and what is this? What's behind this? What am I afraid of? What's gonna happen if I show myself? If I shared what I have with the world, even if it's just a story, what's gonna happen? And what happened actually that day, it was so, I will never forget that day. I think it was September 2021. It was the first live I do on Instagram. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do today or say, but I feel like sharing whatever I have. And I don't remember the words exactly, but you know, that was the energy. And after I finished the live, there was only one person attending, watching the live. And I was like, this is so much fun. I don't know why I wasn't doing it. Oh, now I remember why. I was afraid of judgment, of being called stupid and having nothing to say and nothing valuable to say. What if it's not about that? What if it wasn't about people? What if it was about me?
Oh, I love that. Yes, it is about, well, it is about you, you know. And if other people want to come along for the ride, fantastic. I love your little voice, by the way. Is that how you talk through the whole thing? Did you use that voice through the whole thing?
I think so. It was like, and my hair was like, I wasn't going with my curly hair. My hair was, you know, was very good, but like a good girl in the school.
Yeah, you know, I love that when we talked about doing this, we just said, let's just wing it. You know, we're not going to have a free conversation or anything because we don't have to be perfect. We're just showing up as ourselves.
Yeah, yummy.
Yeah, yummy, all right. Yeah.
And I have a confession.
Oh, go on. Yes.
I have a Do you want to say something? What is it?
No, I want you to say something. That's
Okay.
what
My confession was this all change that happened with finding my voice was during 2020 and 2021. And you were my coach since 2017. And I didn't know, or I haven't noticed at that time, that that was a huge part of your work, the voice. And I was like,
Yeah, because we connected through another organization I was working for. So I wasn't really doing my own work in that context, right? Anyway, go on.
yeah. But still, there is something that, you know, the voice is like, this is the area that I needed the most. And this was your, you know, magic, I would say. It's just sitting there and talking with you has allowed me to explore my voice and not be ashamed of anything. And that's honestly the beauty of having a coach.
Yeah, I believe in coaching quite wholeheartedly, actually. That's good, isn't it?
I didn't
know,
hear that. What did you say?
Oh, I said I believe in coaching quite wholeheartedly, which is probably good, as that's what I do. But you know, my deepest desire for all of us is that it sounds so simple. These words are so simple and basic, but so profound, that we do live fully expressed. And we can only do that once we fully know and accept and love ourselves, you know, because otherwise, what are we expecting, you know?
Wow. Otherwise, what are we expressing? Wow. Wow.
And there are people in our field who I, you know, and again, this is my lovely discernment coming up, not my judgment, just to be clear. There are people who haven't done this work in our field, and the work will never be as deep, you know, frankly, right? Because until we've done our own work, there's a limit to what we can transmit to others. And I'm grateful to you for having the courage to do your work.
Thank you.
The world needs you and has you, which is wonderful.
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to see if anybody has a question or anything? Or is that really what we're doing? Just a thought.
Sure. Is there any
We're good.
question?
I mean, maybe not, but you know.
Anyone has a question?
Or a comment. Or a complaint. We'll take complaints.
Okay. Until someone has a question, you can just raise your hand.
And people raise their hand, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask you a question. Is that possible? Yeah.
Yes, again, that is possible.
How did this journey with the voice and expression has contributed to your business? How did it contribute?
You know, when I first started doing it, I did some market research, which is always a really good idea. And I just asked on social media, to talk about finding your voice. And oh my God, absolute onslaught of women who had every possible scenario in life where their voice had been stifled, you know?
Wow.
And it became obvious that this is a real thing. This is an actual thing. So yeah, it contributed pretty well to my work. What then happened is that the thing I said a minute ago about the kind of dichotomy between finding your voice and the idea that we are going to go on a long journey, and at the end of it, there may or may not be a voice, you know, which isn't helpful to anybody, right? And actually, the real secret is you already have a voice. We just need to find ways for you to use it and do the work around what is stopping you using it or has traditionally stopped you using it. So it's really that. So in some ways, the finding your voice is more, as I said earlier, I'm repeating myself now, is more about, you know, using your voice. And it, even when I'm not specifically doing that kind of work, because I do quite a, you know, I meet clients where they are, and not everybody comes in for that specific thing. We always end up talking about it, always, you know, because my work is always about us living fully expressed in the world, whatever that means and whatever that looks like. So
I
the
don't know.
voice is a huge component to that. And there might be practical things, like I might need to leave my husband or get a new job or move to a different country, all of the above, right?
Yeah.
Those are quite big things. There are smaller things too.
Yeah. Wow. I remember during one of our sessions, I was telling you, you know what? I would like to have more joy in my life. Then you asked me, what would bring you more joy? And we talked about a couple of things, and one of the things is to sing more, not only in the shower. And last week, and you asked me to look for singing groups, I believe.
I did. I specifically remember doing exactly that. Yes.
Guess what I did? I have a channel on Telegram, and I posted on Sunday, let's do a karaoke night. And people showed up. How fun is that? And they sang. And people sang.
Wow, that's great. What fun. What did you sing? What song did you sing?
It's an Arabic song.
No, I
And
know it, but tell me anyway.
and the cartoon song. The song, its name is.
If you wanted, you could just sing a bit of it right now.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I would sing a bit of it. أهو ده اللي صار وادي اللي كان مالكش حق مالكش حق تلوم عليا.
Applause, everyone. That was fantastic. That is
Your
so,
turn.
it's so wonderful to hear that. No. I have not done karaoke for years. I'm off the hook, right? It's so interesting because it's a different tonal. I don't even know what you just did. It was incredible, beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, it was
Good
fun.
for you. That's lovely.
Yeah. And if there is one tool I would like to invite anyone who's listening now or in the future, it would be that. Wherever you are, whatever it looks like, just do it. If it's a song, if it's an article, if it's a post on social media, if it's someone you talk about and express what is going on in your world, or if there is anything in any kind of relationship, just go ahead and do it. You won't die. I know it feels like dying, but you won't die.
Yeah, and it's about starting, isn't it? Just start.
Start, yeah.
Start. You don't have to, I love that metaphor of climbing Mount Everest. I use this all the time. I'm sure I've said to you about 27 times, but when we think about climbing Mount Everest, we sort of imagine we'll have to do it tomorrow, get to the top tomorrow, and that's too daunting, so we don't do anything, right? But actually what we have to do is think about whether we have the right boots. And if we don't, we could go online and Google boots to climb Mount Everest. And that would be a really great starting point, right? And that would be enough for today, And if we carry on in that way, maybe one day we'll be at the top of Mount Everest. Who knows?
Magic.
Yeah. So it's a question of starting. And also, I think what's really important is offering ourselves kindness always, and reminding ourselves that one, we don't need to be perfect. Two, as you just said, we probably won't die if we sit down and write an article, and three, can I come up with a three? One, two, three, it's fun.
Yeah, thank you. It's so much fun.
And we're doing it presumably because we want to. And it's so good to remind ourselves of that, right?
Yeah.
What are the things I really want to do? And I make them too big. I make them really important and terrifying. And if I do this, I might die, but also if I don't do it, I'll die. So I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, you know? Neither is true. You can do it or not. Just play with it. Just
Yeah, I love that. It's just an experiment.
playful, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to laugh, as you can probably tell, you know, and I laugh at myself quite a lot, and I laugh at nearly everything, you know. So yeah.
It's since when we made this life is so serious and about climbing Everest instead of climbing Everest, you know. And when you said just start, it reminded me also of a quote. That, what does it say? Just a second.
We're big on the quotes today, but we don't know any of them. I love it. We have to look them all up. We know there's one out there that says something. Yeah.
Something nice. It's about start where you are with what you have, I think. So it means just start with whatever you have, whether it's whatever it is. It's a podcast, it's a YouTube, it's talking with someone, anything. Yeah, just start. It's easy.
Can I just say something else on this very topic, which I think is I talk about this quite a lot. The difference between our worth and our value, you know, that we think if we don't do something perfectly, then that says something about who we are as a human being. And the reality is that our worth is inherent and cannot be changed. We are unlimited beings of light, and we are beloved children of the universe. To go off on be a bit airy-fairy, but we are meant to be here. We're allowed to be here. We're allowed to take up space. We are worthy of being here. And that's what we do in the world, you know, and that's about value. So sometimes, and coaches do this a lot, we write something and nobody responds, and we think that says something about who I am as a person. All it says is that maybe you didn't write it. Try writing it again, or maybe put it somewhere else to be seen, or just carry on writing anyway. It doesn't matter, you know. But to kind of discern the difference between worth and value. And there's a really great theory of change that talks about adaptive change and technical change. And adaptive change is kind of what coaching, where we begin to see ourselves differently and know ourselves differently and function differently in the world, you know, on a deep level. But technical change is just when I don't know how to do something, you know. And we all get the two mixed up, and we think, because I don't know how to, and this would be me, create a carousel on Instagram. That's what I'm going to be working on today. I've got no idea even where to start. If I didn't know what I'm saying, I would think, oh, I'm such a failure. How can I not know that? It's just, I don't know it. I know lots of things. I just don't know that, you know?
Yeah, wow.
So I think that's quite a liberating approach to life, right?
It is. Wow.
Yeah, that was, a lot.
Yeah, so much lightness.
I'm giving you all the best bits here.
What's it?
I said I'm giving you all the best bits here. We never have to talk.
I love it. And I love the part when you said we are the children of the universe, and we are because it's not airy fairy.
No, I know. I don't know what, but you know,
I love that part.
It is completely true that we are intrinsically already whole and powerful and creative and competent and resilient and all those things. We are that. Yes.
I love it. Yeah. You know, I can talk for hours with you,
Yeah.
and
We can
there's
do it again sometime. Pick a
yeah.
different topic and just do it again.
Oh my God. Yes, let's do this. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add? I think we're almost an hour here,
Yeah,
so
I mean, I don't think so. I think we've said quite a lot, really, haven't we? I haven't asked you any questions. Do you? What have you not said that you want to say?
I just want to say that for a long time, for so many years, I thought life was difficult, and I have to just shut myself down and, you know, just surrender to that for the fact that it is difficult. And until I reached for help, until I said no, there should be something else, and I started looking, and that's somehow also me asking for help was like using my voice, and that what changed my life. And whatever anyone is going through, they are not alone, and there is someone out there could contribute. And if you'd like to try, I would believe any of this kind of support or contribution, they can reach out to us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you said that. Thank you. We don't have to carry on alone, you know?
Yeah.
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 And I'm remembering when you first came for coaching, the courage you had, and now you're saying it made a huge difference, right? Which is really beautiful to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Ali, for all your contribution to my life. So grateful.
So
And yeah, what else? What else is possible now?
I love that question. What else is possible? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that rhetorical or did you want an answer?
Oh, do you have an answer?
I don't. I just think,
Okay.
who knows?
Yeah, I just keep saying it.
Yeah, no, sorry. I see where you were going with that. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So much more is possible than we imagine. I'll just say that.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for everyone who was here. Thank you. And we will post this on YouTube soon.
Yeah.
I'll share with you the recording.
Lots of love to all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.